Good morning, children. Welcome back. Literature reader, first lesson, The Beekeeper and the Bewitched Hair. This is the first lesson in your rapid reader. So the difference between the MCB and the rapid reader is like in MCB you need to go into depth. You need to know each and everything, each and every sentence, each and every word, like who said to whom, all these things in detail you need to know. Whereas when you come to literature reader or the rapid reader, it is just the main purpose of the book is for your entertainment only. So that you need to know the story, you need to read it your own, and need to so that it can improve, it enhances your reading skills actually. So most of the stories you can see like kind of fairy tales and all these stuff where you get an interest in reading. So there is no need to go into depth as it is in the MCB textbook, but yes, you need to know the summary of the story and the literary devices that are used in the story. All these stuff you need to. So coming to our story, The Beekeeper and the Bewitched Hair, it is actually a fairy tale. And what do you mean by a fairy tale? You know, fairy tale is actually a story itself and it is intended for children. It is not necessary that all the fairy tales will have a fairy in it. Not necessary. But yes, there will be, it will be very different from the reality. The places, the setting of the story will be different, and even the characters also you can see like wizards, the witches, all these things will come. And most of the time these are traditional, you know, like this were passed down from storyteller to storyteller before being recorded in books. And here you can see like Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella. So most of the stories you might have already read it. So these are all uh, passed down from generations actually. Okay, so about the author, Soche Nick Leotas. So she is an American author, better known under her pseudonym Soche Nick Leotas. So this is her pseudonym. Pseudonym in the sense like false name, pen name. So some authors are like, you know, they hide the real names and they write under the false names. Okay, so that they hide the identity. So actually her real name was Leclerc Governs Alger. Leclerc Governs Alger, and she was a sickly child and eventually being homeschooled. Sickly child in the sense like often ill, uh, uh, like often ill and everything. So she was eventually uh, being homeschooled also, like homeschooling was given from home. And then notable works include Thistle and Time, Tales and Legends from Scotland, Always Room for One More. So that this story that you have, that is The Beekeeper and the Bewitched Hair, it is also taken from her notable books, Thistle and Time, Tales and Legends from Scotland. Okay. So we can see the story of a boy, a lad actually. Okay, in Scotland it is called as lad. Lad means young boy. Lassie in the means young girl. So we can read the story of the boy who took care of a blue-eyed hare only to discover that reality was different from his expectations. Okay, so this is actually a suspense kind of story. Here we can see a boy, a lad, who who is a beekeeper actually, and he finds the hare, and who is this hare actually, and what he discovers. All these things we can see into the story. This is one of the beautiful stories by the Soche Leotas. So children, now we can see the story in detail. See, I hope that you have gone through the story. Okay, so if you have read the story or if you have attended the online session, you have a rough idea or you might have you got a you got the details about the story and you might have known the characters also in detail. So as I said in the previous slide, this is a story about a lad or a boy from a moor who earned a living as a beekeeper. And you know, he was all alone, but actually he was not lonely. Like, he was a beekeeper, and these bees gave him company. And it is even said that in the text that this lad could talk to the bees. So that much was the connection between the bees and this lad. Now, once this lad is introduced, you can see that this another important character in the story is this hare. So this is also introduced in the very next page itself. So here we can say the hare is introduced in such a way that it was uh, chased by two hounds. Hounds is like a breed of dogs, and he uh, protected it from these dogs. And this hare comes running to him, and he protected it from these dogs. After that, this hare stayed with him only, and it was not ready to go away from him. Though he tried hard, he kept that hare in that forest area and everything, but the hare was not at all ready to go away from him. So now then he fed that hare with the carrots and everything, and then he noticed that there is something extraordinary about this hare. And you know what is that about its eyes? Because it is not like other common hares. Here it is the hare. Its eyes were blue in color. Now, then he introduces, because this hair, whatever it is, this hair is a stranger to that family of this beekeeper and bees also. So actually he had a tension like whether bees will be able to, whether the bees will be ready to accept this hair. And so we can see like he introducing the hair to these bees, and they like out of their curiosity they also like move or they moves around this hair, and finally he decided to give this hair give shelter to this. Now then you can see like the another important character, that is the introduction of the old woman. So in the next page itself you can see like if you have gone through the story you can see like he noticed an old woman at a gate, and when he went to her, she started asking him about this blue. First, he thinks like she had come there for a comb of honey, but actually no, she was not there for honey or anything. When the moment that she see this boy, she started asking him about this blue-eyed hair, and she asked him to sell that hair. She tells him like, okay, I will give you um, gold also for this hair. So here you get the importance, like how much important that hair is for this lady. And she tells him like even she was ready to pay gold also for this hair. Whatever it was, he was not ready to leave that hair. And then the old woman turned out to be very smart, okay, because she jumped, she tried to snatch the hair from him, and it was noticed by the swarm of bees. Okay, and they saved this hair by giving a loud shrill, and she left the place. So once she had left the place, then that day onwards, like he kept an eye on this hair because he wanted to protect her. And then we can see a scene in the market, like where he discusses these things with his friends, and some of his friends, like to a baker and a baker, I think, yes, a baker. He tells this beekeeper like the old woman that he had met that day is none other than a witch. Okay, so but he is not ready to believe in these witches and everything, so he doesn't believe actually. And then, but though he is not believing in these things, he kept an eye on her, and that day onwards he started closing windows, doors, and everything. And then many seasons passed. Okay, the next day, then one October morning, something happens. Like we can see that. Okay, so here we can see that after like one October morning, he happened to meet a gypsy caravan actually, and then he noticed that a sack of grain had fallen down, and because of his nature, because of his humble nature, he decided to follow the gypsy caravan and to return that sack of grain also. So he followed them. to return that sack, and then there he had a meeting with that person actually, and then he introduces him to his grandmother. Okay, and actually, that grandmother also she also has got some powers, and because this person, this gypsy actually, gypsy in the sense like the people who are wandering here and there. He sees that hair with him, and so he also meets the hair, and then he introduces him to this to his grandmother, and he reveals that, and sorry, she reveals that this hair is a Leslie in the sense like it is a girl actually, okay, a young girl. So she reveals that it is a Leslie. This hair is a Leslie, and who has been bewitched by the who has been bewitched in the sense that this Leslie, this girl is under the spell or under the curse of someone. Okay, so she gives this revelation or this truth about this hair, and then this lad, the beekeeper, shared all the incidents that had happened till now, and about like the woman who came first. Okay, who came first? She tried to get this hair and everything he shared with this lady. And then this lady tells him like the woman who came first was none other than a witch, and she warns him that the witch will come again back in a Halloween evening, uh, All Hallows evening, to get this hair back. Why? Because it is that day, during that All Hallows Eve, the magic of witches would be stronger. Magic of that witches, they will have the power most during that time, All Hallows Eve. So she would come back to get this hair, and she asks him like whatever it is to save this hair. So she gives him one idea to protect this hair. So she tells him like she asks him to tie a strong cord around the hare's neck and keep this hair on his lap till past midnight. And she also asks him to hold her tightly as he could. Okay, so these are the details that she gives to how like to protect this hair. And he goes back to his cottage, and then he communicates all the things that this old lady, that grandmother had told him. What all things that he communicates all these things with the bees, so that bees also would be prepared for that attack. And as she said, he tied a strong cord around the hare's neck and set her on his lap, and she happily stayed there until the darkness. Till midnight, she was happy. Then suddenly she started behaving very strangely, and she twisted here and there with all that uh, strength she had, and then she started to uh, wriggle free also. Then he heard a hum that his bees were encircling them. Okay, and then the bees came closer and thicker. So this, because of the sound of the swarm of bees itself, I mean they were not able to hear anything properly then, and then surrounded them. They then the hair jerked her ears, twitched her nose, and then finally what happened after a lot of struggle, a lot of wriggling and everything, it got settled down. And then what happened? Like finally, what happens is like when she had settled down there, finally you can see like the hair. If she turns out to be a beautiful blue-eyed Leslie. Like she turns into a beautiful girl, and then he immediately removes the cord and everything around her neck, and you can obviously you can, like as it is a fairy kind of stories, it will have a happy ending, and you can imagine what is going to happen when this lad decides to. So children, in this PPT I have covered the summary of this story. So now I will be sending one more PPT where I will be recording on the literary devices. Thank you.